For this episode of Brawlin Board Games, we're going to look at two fantasy games that I've been enjoying the hell out of for the last couple of years. And those games are Unbroken and Helm. Now, both these games are solo-based games, so they're both equal in that. But let's start off by looking at the presentation, the boxes. The first thing that you're going to see concerning these games. Now, starting with Unbroken, it is a dark box, and it definitely tells you something. Looking at the art on the box, you can see that it's not going to be a kick down the door kind of fight. No, this game is not designed to be like that at all. And the great box with the spot UV on it definitely gives you that image. It relays that sensation, I think. And there's a good, decent write-up on the back that continues to let you know that what you were thinking of when you saw the cover is probably along the right lines. Now, with Helm, they went with a more, what I like to think of as a more like heavy metal, sketchy kind of art style that really does grab your attention. The box itself is a long box, and that's something else you don't see a lot of, which grabs the attention, I think. Now, both these boxes do a good job for sitting on the shelf and catching your eye. But I got to say that overall, I do think that the Unbroken box does a little bit better of a job. Now, getting down to the components of these two games, let's take a look and see what Unbroken has to offer for components. So we have a few decks of cards in Unbroken that are all going to be used as the main way of advancing the game and the story. Now, we're also going to see that there is a two-part board, and each of these boards are die-cut dual thick boards, so you can actually place the counter cubes inside them, and they're not going to easily pop out, slide off. It keeps it fairly well sitting there if you're not jolting the thing or jostling the table. The art on the cards is beautiful, and they tell the story well. Before you even read what's written there, just looking at the cards and the pictures on them, you start to get an idea of what's going on. And there's several different cards as well. You have boss cards, and several for each different level that you go in to help with replayability. You also have a card that allows you to follow the flow of action during the course of the game, what it is that you have to do, and if you do this or that, you will then go to this or that action following that cause and effect sort of way with the flow chart. I find them very helpful. I barely use them anymore except for just the aesthetic look of having them on the table. Now in Helm, again, we're going to see a lot of decks of cards. Box also comes with dividers. Because the box, like I said, it's a long box. And it's made to hold cards. It's a box card. And it comes with dividers to make it very easy for getting everything out first, setting things up. The art on the cards, just like the box, is fantastic. It has that, reminds me of something I would have seen from an old heavy metal magazine or movie, maybe. And I love that kind of sketchy kind of, I keep saying sketchy, I don't know what else to call it, kind of artwork. I really do enjoy it. Now, Helm also comes with several token counters to help you keep track of things that are going to be really important for you to keep track of and not just your health. So they're handy, and I enjoy having them. I'm glad that they were published and they come with the game. Overall, between the two, between Unbroken and Helm, I have to say that I do prefer the ones that I see in Unbroken. Those components, I think, are just a little bit better. I think the art stands out a little bit more. And I prefer to look and handle those components just a little bit more. Now, let's think of the rules between these two games. So for Unbroken, it's a very easy, straightforward rule system, a lot less intimidating than that rule book looks. That rule book is big, thick, and I think it is way overcomplicated for what the game actually is. So the rule book itself, not that great. But the rules are so fast and easy for this game. Just picking a card, you have a choice of cards, and making a choice, picking a card, and dealing with it. This is some resource management in this game too, which is going to be the key to your survival in this game. Now, over in Iron Helm, we see a lot of the same things. It's another choice situation as we have our cards. Now, although it doesn't have quite the resource management style that we see over in Unbroken, it does have an interesting system of good and evil. You have choices. There are plot cards that will give you choices during the game that will affect whether you're being and acting a little bit more on one side and a little bit more on the other side. And you get to decide this and grow your character in such a way. I'm looking at the two of these. I'm gonna give it to Unbroken. I think even though the rule book looks daunting to get through, knowing the game, knowing the rules, and knowing that it's not, and it is a lot more straightforward than the rule book implies by its size, yeah, I gotta give this definitely to Unbroken. Setup and disassembly. So how fast and easy is it to get these games set up and then taken apart and put back in the box again? Taking a look at Unbroken, the game is very straightforward. Setting up the decks is just that. Taking them out, shuffling them, putting them down. You have to choose. You get to put out the monster decks, and they're not going to be chosen until you get up to the monster encounter, and then you roll the 6-sided die, and that will tell you which monster on the current level you are on that you are going to be facing. The biggest setup for this, which is nothing whatsoever, is the boards. And just setting up the cubes, the resource cubes in it, takes a half a second longer maybe than shuffling the cards and setting them down. Altogether, you are going to get this game out. If you've played this game, you know this game, you're going to get this game out of the box, on the table, and ready to play within minutes. It's that fast and simple. Now, Iron Helm, it is set up with the dividers in the box, which makes it very easy and convenient. I love the convenience of that. Just going right in and taking out what you need, shuffling it, and setting it down. You have your counters while you're going through the dungeon. There's a cute little dungeon card that has nothing to do with gameplay. It's there simply for aesthetics, and it's nice to set up on the side. Both these games have such fast, simple setups, and likewise, if a game sets up fast, it usually does disassemble fast, and these do as well. Both of these, I can't decide, so I'm going to give these a push. Overall fun. Which of these two games do I just have more fun with playing generally than anything else? And both of these games I have played a hell of a lot of times on camera and more than enough off. So let's take a look at Unbroken. Now, Unbroken, I've won this game, I've lost this game. I've taken this game to different sort of heights, so to speak, with different character mixes. And win or lose, I've enjoyed myself every single damn time. I look forward to this game hitting the table because I know I'm going to have a good time, win or lose. Iron Helm, I think I've won once and probably lost at least a dozen other games. I have no luck or skill in this game whatsoever. Yet, my level of fun with it is out the window. And I think that's because, unlike Unbroken, which is simply a resource management escape game, Iron Helm is more of a dungeon delve. And that's the experience that I'm looking for in a fantasy game. So overall fun, I got to give it to Iron Helm. Now, looking at the scores, it looks like our winner is Unbroken, but it was fairly close, I guess, halfway there, 4-2 for Unbroken. That's what I think of those two games. But I had fun with both of them. But I got to say that the winner is Unbroken. Still. I guess like the title says. Well, thank you for joining me with this episode of Brawlin Board Games.